Hey guys, it's Gabby. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have partnered up with Revel Nail to show you guys how you can do your very own dip nails at home. And if you aren't familiar with dip powder nails, it's basically an alternative to gel nails or acrylic nails because it still gives you that long-lasting manicure. And I really do like this stuff because it will protect your natural nails. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. So before I start anything, I'm just going to prep my nail like I usually do. So I'm going to just take a file and file straight across to make sure my nail shape is good. And then I will usually push back my cuticles using an orange stick. So for the rest of the video, I am just going to be going off of the instructions that came with my dip powder, but like obviously I'll give you guys my tips and tricks along the way. So first off, you need to sanitize and wash your hands, and then you're going to need to get the shine off your nail. They said you can use a drill, a buffer, or a file. I personally like using a buffer just because it's more gentle on my natural nail, and then I'm just going to wipe away the dust using a makeup sponge. So now moving on to the actual dipping process, your first step is to apply your pro base, and you guys make sure you apply this thin because you don't want to end up with some super thick looking nail at the end. So make sure you do thin coats, and then you do want to make sure it's as even as possible. Really take your time with this and then dip it as soon as you're done because you don't want it drying too fast. And I would definitely recommend applying the base one nail at a time so you can really focus on the nail you're working on. So after you dip your finger, you want to get rid of any excess powder. So I'm just taking a fan brush and I'm going to flip my finger over and tap it off. You can also use your finger for this, you don't have to use a brush. And then I'm also going to use my brush to gently wipe off the sides and top of my nail. And you definitely want to be careful when you're doing this because your nail can still be dented at this point. So just take your time with it, and this is just another way to make sure your coats don't get too thick. Once you're done getting all of that excess powder off, you're going to repeat this process again. So go ahead and get your pro base and apply another thin layer of that and then dip it into the powder. And keep in mind, wherever this base is, that's where the powder is going to stick to. So if you get it on your skin, try to wipe it off before you dip it into the powder. And also be really careful around your cuticle area because it will be hard to clean off. And then when I'm dipping my nail, I don't really have a technique to it. I'm kind of just scooping it in there and then tapping off the excess. Here's what my nail looks like after I dipped it twice. You can see it's not too thick, it's pretty even. So now it is time to move on to the next step, which is the activator. And here's what it looks like. You can see that every lid has like a different color, which is really helpful. But basically you're just going to put this all over your nail. And I can say once you do this, there's no going back and fixing what you just did because this makes everything harden completely. So you're going to go ahead and put that on and then let that dry for 2 minutes. So next you're going to shape your nails, and again you can use a drill or a file, but I'm just going to be using a file for this, and I'm just going to file it down a little bit, make sure everything is nice and smooth. And because I kept my coats pretty thin, I don't have to really file that much. I think I filed for like a minute, if that, and then I'm just going to take my buffer and really make sure everything is smooth. So once you're all done with that, you're going to wash your hands without using any soap and then apply your activator one more time. And this time after you apply your activator, you're going to wipe off your nail about 20 seconds later, and you can use a paper towel for this or a makeup sponge. I like using a makeup sponge just so I don't potentially get any lint or anything in my nail. And then after that, you're going to move on to your finishing gel. And I do have to say, with the pro base and the finishing gel, make sure you're wiping off the lid after you're done using it because I made the mistake of not doing that and it got stuck and it was really hard to get off. So just make sure your bottles are clean before you put the top back on. So when you're applying your first layer of gel, you're going to go across your nail really quickly. This does not have to look perfect at all. It's really with that second coat that you're really just going to take your time, make sure it looks all good and even, and then it's really going to give you that nice glossy finish. And I did wait about 15 seconds before applying that second layer of top coat. So yeah, that is it, you guys. Honestly, it may seem like a lot of steps, but it goes by so quickly and you really get the hang of it after like the first nail. I do think this is a great option, especially if you already do dip powder nails, because I know nail salons charge like $50 for that, and you can get these starter kits that come with everything you need for around $69. So you'd be getting your money's worth after like, what, 2 uses, and then it's just like really satisfying to do. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the dip powder, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!